In this video, I'm going to be showing you why stop coming, you will unlock your spiritual gifts. The bottom line is when you decide to not ejaculate anymore, what's going to happen to you is you're going to have this spirit of higher quote-unquote knowledge. People might call it higher consciousness, higher knowledge. What does this mean? Because a lot of people would probably say, what is this guy talking about? This is voodoo. None of this is true. What I am telling you is your ability to think is going to change a little bit. The bottom line is if there's a consciousness scale, and pretty much if your mind is focused on us 24/7, you're not going to know more things. You're just going to be a very, very bland person in a sense. You're just not going to be able to think in a way where it's just a little bit differently, where you have a new perspective on things. You're going to always think how you were always thinking, because your mind is focused on lust. If your mind is always focused on lust, it plays a big part in a lot of things. If your mind is always focused on that, you can't express yourself. You don't know what to say. You're just becoming a shell of yourself because it's taking a very big part of your brain. It is flooding you with dopamine. And this is why you're not really going to achieve anything great. You're going to be a cog in the machine because you don't like to use your brain when you're focused on lust. This is why you would probably enjoy more jobs where it's more obsolete, where you're not really thinking, you're just putting in motions in a sense, if that makes sense, because you don't think. Now the bottom line is when you stop ejaculating for a period of time, your brain, you unlock patterns of your brain. You unlock more areas of your brain, meaning that now you can think a bit critically. You can have a good idea of why people do certain things. You have a good idea of why people do certain things. You can put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see what their motives are, why they would do something like this. You have a quote-unquote sixth sense. Maybe if you're predicting something, maybe like a sport, a championship or something like that. Usually, and this has happened to me once, a lot of people are saying one team is going to win, and then what I was thinking is that actually the other team, the opposite team is going to win, because usually you have to go with, when it comes to predicting something, you have to go with the opposite of what people are saying, just because if everybody is thinking one way, then more often than not, the opposite is more likely to happen, just because this is just how the world works naturally. So the bottom line is you're going to unlock your spiritual gifts of being able to predict. You're able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. You're able to understand why people do certain things, because your mind is not only just sold on lust, it's focused on other things. When you desexualize your brain, you can focus on other aspects of your life. You can actually start thinking of a quote-unquote higher consciousness, meaning you're focused on bigger aspects of things, bigger aspects of life, and this is what you're going to unlock. You're going to have better thinking capabilities. The way you think is going to be just very better, because there's more blood flowing through your brain. There's more oxygen going to your brain, up to your brain. So now you have really good capabilities on how to think critically and how to think well. This is going to be your benefit. So the bottom line is when you're desexualizing your brain, when you finally stop focusing on lust, you can actually think in a way that actually can help you get yourself out of situations. You can be super creative. You're definitely going to be a little bit more creative, because you have more brain flowing, more brain activity. So now you can start flowing with new ideas that come to you, and you can start acting on them. If you do this consistently, you are going to be mesmerized by how far you become. That's what you have to realize. So if you're focusing on lust 24/7, if you're just focused on that, that's going to take a lot of brain activity, brain matter, and now you're going to be very dull in the way you approach things. You're not going to think creatively as much as you can, just because your brain is just focused too much. It's just taking too much energy from the brain. So you have to realize this. So you're going to think in a sense that's just highly sought after. It's just very intuitive. It's very higher in just a higher sense. You start thinking similar to how the Most High thinks in a way where it's just you're not really this fear-stricken person, but you definitely have more of a positive aspect, and this is a very good thing. You can actually start making connections between things, and you are actually becoming someone who can get himself out of a lot of predicaments. Thinking is very structured. It's in a sense where you have a very good idea of things. You have a very good reason of things, and this is a very big superpower. Somehow just know certain things just because you're in tune with the Most High, you're in tune with nature, and now you can explain a lot of different things. But like I said, if you focused on lust a lot, it's going to destroy this, and you're just going to think like the common man. The common man thinks 1, 2, 3 logically, but when you've been retained for a good amount of time, you can definitely put 4, 5, 6. You can increase the puzzle. You can ask more defining questions, things that actually make you think. I hope that makes sense. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.